Welcome to Student Debt Trainings Part 2. This is Megan Purnell, and I am excited to share with you the 4 things that you have to know before you get into student debt. This will be short, to the point. It's going to have some great tips for you. And by the word you, I mean anybody who is thinking about going to school, anybody who already is in school and might be taking on more student debt, or any parents who have children who are growing up and one day might want to go to school. This is for you. Last week I did a bit of an impromptu vlog. It was about 10 minutes long. It's pretty good, but it was missing a few key pieces. So this is the part 2 that I really wanted to share with you. What that video did show is that the average student loan at the end of a degree is now around $80,000. And it has now added up to trillions of dollars of student debt owing around the world, which is making it really difficult to pay off, and it's affecting people's lives after school negatively. So I want people to avoid this impact. So of course, we can look at the negative. Give up, don't go to school at all, just expect to waste thousands of dollars to force your kids to go to school to get a degree that maybe they didn't even really want, which is what we see a lot of today. Or we can do these 4 steps. These are the 4 tools that are going to be put into place before or during student debt that are going to get you to the best place of all. Here we go. Number 1, be sure. That means you or your child needs to take something that they love, that they are sure that they want to do, that they know isn't a waste. It is no longer very valuable to go to school just because they've graduated high school. There's no point in going and spending hundreds of dollars. I did that. I went to school right after high school for a year and a half to get my science degree, and then a year and a half in, I said, what am I doing with a science degree? I had no interest in it, so I stopped, and I'm so glad I did. So ways that you can be sure is to job shadow, which when I was job shadowing X-ray technician, I actually passed out while I was there. So that is why I say it saved me from passing out in my future job. I asked questions. Go and interview people in their jobs and ask them, what do you like about it? What don't you like about it? And find, recognize, and follow your strengths. That is going to ultimately put you in a job or a position or an education where you actually enjoy it. Number 2, you can, this is optional, work first and save some money. You will not go into as much debt if you first save some money. You're also going to learn a lot more if you can sit in those classes and not feel so stressed financially. You also have the option on top of that of working part-time during school if it's feasible, or finding some ways to minimize your expenses, and that is usually doable. You might have to make some sacrifices, but it's really important that you minimize your student debt where possible. And a really good example of this was actually my sister, who went to school and got her she was a LPN, which is basically a lower level of a registered nurse. And then she worked for a few years in between, saved up enough money to go back to school, and then went back to school, became an RN, which is the registered nurse title that she wanted, and she had no debt when she got out of it. Plus, her resume even looked better because she had work experience. So, one way, one option, work first, save some money. Number 3, get scholarship happy. That means there are thousands of scholarships out there, and you can go apply for all of them. There's basically a scholarship for somebody who lives on a certain street with a certain hair color with a certain vehicle description who worked part-time last summer. There are some crazy scholarships out there that aren't being used. I once had a teacher come up to me and basically offer me a scholarship because they didn't have enough applicants who were able to meet all of the criteria. It's amazing what's out there. It saved me thousands of dollars in my education, and some of those scholarships don't even get given out because they're not applied for. So, scholarships, scholarships, scholarships. If you can get grants, which are bigger chunks of funding, that is even better. I say just apply to it all. Fourth, love the loan. If you're going to get a loan, you have to appreciate it and treat it way better than we've been treating it. Don't waste the money. I know so many people who think, oh, I've got this money sitting there, I haven't used it all, I'm going to go to Mexico on spring break or whenever it is, or I'm going to treat myself to this or that. It is not worth it. I actually know someone who got audited and they had to pay back thousands of dollars of their loan money right on the spot. Basically within a few weeks they had to come up with that money. So it's not worth it for that reason as well. But for yourself, love your loan. Treat it like it's not your money so that you use the least of it possible and you can pay it back so much faster after. So I'll give you also one place where you can come for some information for free. It is a Facebook group called Money Savvy Mastermind, and I'm in there all the time. There are investors in there, there's mortgage brokers, there's other students, there's lots of people with lots of advice and experience who can answer some of your questions that you have about school, about saving money, about debt, about everything in between. So head on in there, and if you have some questions, comment below and I'll make sure to get back to you. Bye for now.